After months of surveillance, Italian police intercepted messages that made their blood run cold. Something was moving through the criminal underworld, something that demanded immediate action. In July 2019, they intercepted hidden messages from criminal circles, hinting at a weapon so powerful that its mere presence threatened to destabilize an already volatile European landscape. With time running short, police launched a nationwide operation. What they discovered would expose a dark arsenal of high-powered firearms, stockpiled ammunition, and an eerie collection of Nazi relics. But among these weapons of war lay something far more sinister. A military asset whose shadowy trail led through 3 nations and 2 decades of classified arms deals. Its intended target remains shrouded in a disturbing, unresolved mystery. Just months before the explosive weapons raid, Italy was jolted by a stark reminder of the unsettling rise in national fascist ideologies when an incident involving hardcore soccer fans unfolded in Milan ahead of an Italian Cup match. Gathered near Piazza Loreto, the infamous square where Italy's World War II dictator Benito Mussolini was executed alongside his government's top officials, a viral video captured the group in lockstep, performing synchronized fascist salutes and chanting in unison. The event, which took place just 1 day before Liberation Day, Italy's annual commemoration of the end of fascism, left a scar on the nation. Yet it was far from being an isolated incident. In October 2017, similar concerns surfaced when anti-Semitic stickers appeared around Rome's Stadio Olimpico. While government officials have distanced themselves from these ideologies, Italy's rising far-right presence has aligned with political factions that some sources deem outright fascist, advocating for a hardline stance on liberal values and immigration. Critics warn that this shift could lead Italy down an isolationist path, posing a serious threat to stability across Europe and beyond. Far-right ideologies are no longer confined to Italy's borders. As tensions in the Ukraine-Russia conflict soared, with high-profile assassinations of separatist leaders making international headlines, reports surfaced that Italian extremist groups had joined the fight. Driven by radical beliefs, Italian citizens appeared on both sides of the war, with some supporting Russian-backed separatists while others joined Ukrainian forces. On July 3, 2019, a court in Genoa sentenced 3 men for aiding Russian-backed forces who control land in Ukraine's Donetsk and Luhansk regions, with the Italians bolstering forces that clashed against Ukrainian troops. The deepening collaboration between Italian extremists and foreign factions rang alarm bells back home. The risk of weapons being smuggled from Italy to Ukraine grew too large to ignore, pushing Italian intelligence to intensify surveillance and launch undercover operations to trace the movements of these extremist networks. As violence escalated in Donbas, agents intercepted alarming evidence: photographs of military-grade weaponry sent over text. Captured through phone taps, the images depict a Matra Super 530F missile poised for sale on the black market by men tied to far-right factions. Italian police had to move quickly, dismantling the clandestine arms trafficking network before these extremists could complete their deadly transaction. Led by Turin's Special Police Unit, the operation expanded into a nationwide effort involving forces from Milan, Varese, Forli, and Navarra. With the assistance of an arms expert posing as a buyer, officers established contact with the suspects to negotiate the purchase on behalf of a third party. The covert approach confirmed the presence of the Matra Super 530F missile. The suspects were soon identified as Swiss national Alessandro Monti, Italian citizen Fabio Bernardi, and Fabio Del Bergiolo, a former Senate candidate for the far-right Forza Nuova party. This political party now holds a position in Italy's ruling coalition. The operation led the officials to Del Bergiolo's residence, where law enforcement officers uncovered a massive military-grade arsenal. The cache included 9 war rifles, a Scorpion machine gun, 7 other firearms, 3 hunting rifles, 20 bayonets, nearly 1,000 rounds of ammunition, and numerous weapon parts, enough to supply a small battalion. But the most disturbing aspect of Del Bergiolo's arsenal was its dark collection of Nazi-era paraphernalia: swastika shields, signs bearing fascist slogans, and grim references to the Nazi military unit Waffen-SS. This was no mere illegal arms operation. It was a shrine to neo-Nazism. seemingly confirming police suspicions about the extremist ideologies behind the stockpile. Monti and Bernardi were arrested near Forlì Airport in northern Italy. The missile they intended to sell was then traced to a location in the province of Pavia, according to the official police report. This seizure, a rare and dangerous find, left Italians questioning where this missile had come from, and perhaps more importantly, who was meant to buy it. Some reports indicate that intercepted communications from the traffickers revealed plans to sell the missile for 470,000 euros. While the intended buyer's identity remains unknown, speculation has pointed to Libya or Iran, both nations that still operate Mirage F-1 aircraft and might be interested in either deploying or reverse engineering this powerful missile. More ominous theories have also emerged, suggesting the missile could have been intended for a KGB-backed plot to assassinate Italy's then Deputy Prime Minister, Matteo Salvini, who at the time was receiving daily threats. The Matra Super 530F was first introduced in 1979. It was crafted as a powerful French short to medium-range air-to-air missile intended to equip the formidable Dassault Mirage F-1 fighter jet, a French attack aircraft deployed in high-stakes conflicts like the Chad intervention in the 1980s and Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. An upgrade to the earlier R530 model, the Super 530F boasts semi-active radar homing guidance, a top speed of Mach 4.5, and an operational range of up to 15 miles. Armed with a 66-pound high-explosive fragmentation warhead, this missile presents itself as a fatal asset in aerial combat. Identifying how traffickers had acquired a weapon of this caliber became crucial for Italian police, but solving this mystery proved to be a nearly impossible task. Upon examining markings on the missile's fuselage, authorities could trace the Super 530F back to Qatar, where it had been delivered in the early 1980s as part of an arms deal between France and the Gulf nation. However, in 1994, when Qatar upgraded its air fleet, it decided to sell off its Mirage F-1 jets and their associated missiles to an undisclosed friendly nation, whose identity Qatar has kept confidential. A 1994 purchase agreement later surfaced, which seemed to reveal the destination as Spain. When Spain retired the jets in 2013, it no longer needed the missiles, claiming they were demilitarized. However, neither Spain nor Qatar has provided serial numbers to confirm that the missile found in Italy wasn't part of this group. This leaves open the possibility that one of these missiles could have made its way to the black market during the retirement process, leaving the enigma unsolved. Upon initial inspection, authorities were alarmed by the unmistakable markings on the Matra R530 missile. A yellow band labeled it live, while a second red band signaled the presence of rocket fuel, implying the weapon was primed for a destructive purpose. Yet, after 2 years of investigation, Italian authorities suddenly began to release new information aimed at diffusing concerns and convincing the public this wasn't as serious as initially presented. According to findings, the missile had been completely gutted, stripped of all internal wiring and essential parts, rendering it unusable and beyond restoration. Prosecutor Isabella Samek-Lodovici requested the case to be dismissed, emphasizing that although the missile had once been classified as a war weapon, it no longer held any substantial military potential. The judge seemed to be satisfied with this statement, noting, quote, "The missile has now become nothing more than an empty shell," dismissing the investigation into any potential buyers or custodians, concluding that the weapon was likely intended as nothing more than an eccentric piece of decor for a peculiar collector. Fabio Del Bergoglio's lawyer, Fausto Muscatelli, argued that his client was simply a weapons enthusiast and that the items seized from his home, though unregistered, were not connected to terrorism. Regarding the Nazi memorabilia found alongside the weapons, Muscatelli brushed it off as a misunderstanding. Alessandro Monti and Fabio Bernardi's legal team echoed this sentiment, distancing their clients from extremist circles by stating that they had, quote, "nothing to do with extreme right-wing or ultra-nationalist circles. They are light years away from that world."